My name is Khurram Bukhari, and my friends call me KB. I'm a father, I'm a husband, a nephew, a son-in-law, a good friend, and more important than that, I'm a leader. So my parents got married in Pakistan in the 80s, and they moved to Brooklyn, New York. They had me. So I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I went back to Pakistan when I was like 6, 7 years old to visit. And then once again, I was like 20 years old. So I've been there probably twice already. So my story is I had a stroke back in 2017. It was Christmas morning. My wife was pregnant with a baby, and we had one baby running around. My daughter Isa was running around. She was about a year old. And Christmas morning, we're all happy. We had planned for the day, and my wife had work that day, so she went to work pregnant, 9 months pregnant. And thank God we had a babysitter over that day to help me with my daughter. And I told her, my babysitter, her name was Isa from Venezuela. So Isa, I'm gonna go upstairs, take a little nap, and can you watch Isa? And she said, okay, no problem. So I went upstairs, I fell down, and I fell down, my whole right side got numb, and I'm like panicking, and somehow I got myself up on the bed, and I got my phone out to text my wife. My wife is a physician. I text her, and it was not making sense. I called her, and the words were not coming out of my mouth. So my communication was very limited, and I'm panicking. And I somehow was able to walk downstairs, see my daughter and my babysitter, our babysitter. In the meantime, my wife called 911, and I'm sitting at the table, just acting funny, confused, and door knocks, and a person walks in, and it was EMT. They took me to the hospital, and my wife got there from work, and one of my best friends arrived from work as well. Um, and I remember like I didn't know what was happening, and soon the next thing I remember, I'm just very sleepy and I'm knocked out. I was in a coma for one whole week. Um, my wife was told that by the doctors that, hey, call his friends, call his family. This may be the end of KB, and she's like, oh my God, she had one baby, she's pregnant, and one running around. Thank God for my in-laws and my family members there. All my friends flew in, and but they were able to save me. It was a miracle. I woke up on New Year's Day and I had no clue where I was. And one of my best friends sitting next to me, and he said, hey, KB, you're okay. You had a stroke. And I was so confused. My life changed at that moment. For a few days, I couldn't move my hand, my foot. I couldn't say anything. I'm in bed, just watching TV, and having nurses come to feed me, give me a bath in bed, and it was so vulnerable. I felt like my baby, like my little daughter was like same way, And I was praying to God that, God, if you give me one more chance, I promise I will do the best I can to be the best I can. I will live the best to my potential. It's praying the whole way, the whole time. And in a few days, I got a little bit better, and I went to a rehab hospital where I was learning how to talk and walk again. In the miracle of God, I was up and running in like 2 weeks and was sent home. So I'm sent home. I have we moved in with my in-laws now. Um, my wife is about to give birth any time now. In my second daughter Iman was born, and I'm feeling much better. And went back to my job and said, hey, I'm ready to work. And he's like, you know what, baby, sorry, we're gonna let you go. And they had their reasons. And at that time, it was the worst thing in the world for me. I was driving back from the office and was crying, just like thought I lost everything. And how am I going to tell my wife the story? But it was the best thing that happened to me. And I'll tell you why in a second. Anyways, I get home and tell my wife, and she gave me a big hug. My in-laws were there, and they gave me a big hug, and they said, hey, we're here with you. Don't worry about it. You'll get through it. And I'm like, what am I going to do now? Right? And from the stroke, my speech was affected a lot. So I'm doing phone interviews and Zoom interviews, and I'm not speaking the best. And I can tell the companies are not like, they're very interested after reading my resume, but then when they talk to me, they're like, okay, well, we're gonna pass on you. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? I have two daughters now, and I'm only 36, 30, 35. I think I was 36 years old, and I was watching the show of real estate, and I'm like, you know what? I turned to my wife, hey, how about real estate? She goes, babe, honey, I think that's the best idea for you. And for my wife, it was just to get a job. She was not even sure if my brain will function all the way. The doctor told us my brain may not be 100% back to normal again. So she was just really happy that I'm walking, talking, and taking care of myself. So just get a job, do anything you can just to get yourself busy again. So I heard of a company, and I went to talk to the company. They gave me a job as a real estate agent, and soon after a lot of practicing and training myself and with my real estate coach, I was up and running, selling homes, and back to better, back to forget normal. I was more happier, working for myself, my own schedule. I can spend time with my wife, my kids more often, with my in-laws, my aunts and uncles, so and my friends. And then at that time, the same company offered me a role in Orlando, and I came to Orlando, and and that's how I got my start in real estate. Real estate is a second chance for me at life. It's more than a second chance. It's an awakening. I feel like before my stroke, pre-stroke, I was living life as a zombie. This guy got 2 degrees. I was doing what society tells you to do: get degrees and do a 9 to 5, and be off Saturday, Sunday. And for some people that works. For me, I was not living my best potential. In real estate was that vehicle that helped me get there. Oh, where do I start? What does more homes mean to me? I don't know where to start or where to add. Um, more homes. Oh, more homes means a house, a family, connections, brotherhood, sisterhood, um, inspiration, dreams, the future, the present. The opportunities are endless, right? Um, so one of the founders of More Homes, Edison Moreno, and me we were talking years ago for another company we were working with to work together. That never worked out. Edison moved on, and I was working for another company. Anyways, an opportunity came. I called Edison and I said, "Hey, Edison, I watch you on social media. I love your brand. I love what you guys are doing with it. It's so young and vibrant. And you know what? I'm looking to maybe join. What do you think?" He goes, "Awesome. Let's talk." And for the first time, he invited me. Let me go back. He invited me to meet his partner, Juan, at the office. It was like a Friday afternoon. I just came by, and I had 10 other meetings planned for that week. And I sat with Edison here and Juan here. And the first conversation we had, it was magical. It was alignment, to be aligned right away, instantly. My gut, and that's something I depend on, my gut. When I'm in the right place, I know I'm in the right place. The ideas, our inspiration, the language we speak about business, and what I felt from Edison and Juan, that it wasn't about the money or the profits. I mean, of course it is, but more important than that, it was impacting people's lives. What does that mean? Impacting our client's life and our agent's life, our agent's family life, our employees' life. We have employees all over Colombia, we have employees in South Florida and Central Florida. And hearing them talk about their vision was exactly where my vision was. So as you can imagine, I just had that meeting and I just told them, listen, talk to my wife, I'll get back to you. And I left the door. I had this excitement. And I called my wife from the car outside the office, and I'm like, you know what? I think I found my place. She slow down, calm down. There's other companies you should go talk to. And I went. I talked to other companies, but it was more homes with that person, that girl that you meet this girl, you're like my wife. When I met my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna marry her. When I met more homes, I'm like, yep, that's a company, that's a brokerage I want to be part of. So, what are the values that I find important as a leader? I think spirituality is really important. Humility is really important. To be humble, um, to be honest, um, is really important. I think if you're honest, you're humble, and you're focused, I honestly believe you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. The mind and body go hand in hand. A lot of people go to the gym and exercise. I go to the gym quite often now to get healthy and get my body healthy. Many don't know that your mind is the same thing, if not more important. So how do you exercise the mind? How do you make the mind healthy? You have to meditate. You should pray. You should do some self-love. Take some time alone and reflect, and also find challenges to do every week. The more challenges you find to do, and once you do them, you're making the mind stronger. Therefore, the mindset stronger. Oh man, you're a robot. You're a zombie. I was that person before my stroke. I had no purpose. Even though I had a beautiful wife and a beautiful daughter and one on the way, I I discovered I was like awaking with the purpose of something bigger than all of us. Um, I would, if someone came up to me and said, "Hey, KB, how to help me to find my purpose," I would ask them, "What's important to you? What's your why? Besides money, right? What's something that would you would say that is a non-negotiable for you? What do you want to contribute to the world? If you die tomorrow and people standing in front of your funeral, around your funeral, what do you want them to remember you by?" And take those words, take those concepts, and that will help you find your purpose. My why. So my mom died. I was pretty young, and she worked really hard in raising me, and I want to make her legacy shine. Along with that, I was very close to my mom, so God gave me two daughters. So I want to leave something behind for them, not money or houses or cars. I want to leave an impact in their mind that their dad was something extra. Their dad was pushed a lot of obstacles, but he was able to overcome them. And lastly, my wife. My wife has been my pillar. She's my rock. She was there when I had nothing, and she's still there. So for me, she's my why to get up every morning and do the best I can for her. It's funny. It's definitely interesting. I get this question quite often asked on Instagram and social media, and also at places where I go speak sometimes. KB, how do you take that leap? How do you take that jump? And how do you know if it's right for me to make that jump? And my response to them is very simple. Only you know you can make that jump, but what's holding you back? And I get very practical. Um, I recommend an individual, he or she, to have 6 months of savings, at least. Um, maybe have a spouse or a partner to have a job to help out. Maybe they have some family they can help them with. But sometimes you don't have that stuff, and the opportunity is in front of you. And here we have opportunity here to be an entrepreneur, and here you have a 9 to 5 job. And actually ask yourself, are you here 9 to 5 job because you're comfortable, cushy, is very relaxed? And if that's your answer, then that's not the place you should be. Comfort, to have comfort in life is the worst. Why? You don't grow. Comfort has killed more dreams than anything. So take the leap of faith, pray, meditate, align yourself the right way, make sure everything is in order, organize your finances, and make the jump. Interesting. I'm very, you know, you see like a color, the color of black is black, right? Or gray is gray. Um, I have different shades, I think, right? Even my background, sure, my parents from Pakistan, but I'm from New York and Miami. I was raised with a lot of Latin people and Italian people, so I get very influenced very easily. I think of myself, you know, I'm a Muslim by faith, but then I'm really a big believer in accepting all faiths, all religions. I'm a big believer in God. So like, there's no way, one way to just label me. I think I'm multifaceted. An eagle, fly high in the sky, and, you know, and watch around everyone. What do I like to do in my free time? Interesting. I like to work. I don't think what I do here more home is work. Is for me not work. It's just being. It's for me what I do here more home is more than work. It's just life. So I like to keep working. Um, my wife, spend time with my wife, my kids, my friends, my family, and then after that, I'm into self help and motivational videos, podcasts, books. I mean, if you ask my wife, um, that what does Kiwi do at home when the kids are sleeping? Like last night, she walked to my office and I was watching a video about leadership. And so I like to spend a lot of time investing my time to better myself. And then also boxing. I like to do boxing. Hi guys, my name is Khurram Bukhari. I go by the name KB, my nickname. We're here at More Home Studios. Remember one thing, tomorrow is not promised. So remember to make today count.